Whew, things are about to get a little bit spicy, baby. So, with the conversation being brought up on why people simply do not go to the theaters anymore, I guess it's time for me to set the record straight. Now, as you all know, recently, John Rocher proclaimed that the audience is simply stupid. However, that man is totally wrong. So, today, I am going to explain to you exactly why people simply do not go see movies these nowadays. Now, look. Before I get started, do your boy O3 major favors. Please hit that subscribe button. Then after hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that notification bell because YouTube absolutely sucks at notifying subscribers that content creators has uploaded videos to their platform. Hitting that notification bell certainly helps. And don't forget to hit that like button to help me out with that algorithm, baby. Now let's get into today's video. First, let me show you just how good Hollywood used to do. In 2019, we have Avengers Endgame, $2.8 billion. The Lion King, $1.6 billion. Frozen 2, 1.4. Spider-Man Far From Home, 1.1. Captain Marvel, 1.1. Joker, $1 billion. Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, $1 billion. Toy Story 4, $1 billion. Aladdin, $1 billion. Jumanji, The Next Level, $800 million. That rounds out the top 10 in 2019. That was a hell of a year for that of Hollywood. Now, in 2020, which was the COVID year, nothing grossed over a $500 million. Now, many people are saying that this is when everything just turned upside down for that of Hollywood. However, the very next year, 2021, Spider-Man Far From Home grossed nearly $2 billion. We have a China release there, The Battle at Lake Shang-Xin. I think that's how you say that. I am sorry. $900 million just from China alone. Hi Mom, $800 million, which is also a China release from China alone. No Time to Die, $774 million. F9, The Fast Saga, $700 million. So I understand at this point, people really was not going back to the movies. However, they went to the movies to see that of Spider-Man No Way Home. 2022, we have $3 billion films with a total of two more nearly getting to the mark. Avatar, The Way of the Water, $2.3 billion. Top Gun Maverick, which is what, a 30-year-old sequel or 35-year-old sequel? Something that came out a long time ago, got a sequel, and here it is. It grossed $1.4 billion. Jurassic World Dominion, $1 billion. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, $955 million. Minions, The Rise of Gru, $840 million. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, $859. The Batman, $772. Thor, Love and Thunder, $760. I want you to remember Thor, Love and Thunder because I am going to get back to that trash later in this video. Now, 2023, you got Barbie, $1.4 billion. Super Mario Brothers, $1.3 billion. Oppenheimer, $975 million, nearly $1 billion. A re-release will push that film over the mark. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, $844 million. Fast X, $700 million. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, $690 million. So, I understand. You may say, well, oh, there aren't many billion-dollar films on the list for 2023. But look at the titles. I mean, compared to what released in 2019, do you really expect that it would look like that year? No, it wouldn't. 2024, you got another $3 billion films and another getting close. Inside Out 2, 1.6. Deadpool and Wolverine, 1.3. Hold on to that because we got to get back to Deadpool and Wolverine as well. Moana 2, $1 billion. Despicable Me 4, nearly $1 billion and 975 or $72 million worldwide. Wicked, which was a domestic heavy film. $473 million came from the domestic market. $756 million worldwide. Mufasa, The Lion King, $722 million worldwide. Dune Part 2, which is one of my favorite films of all time, $714 million worldwide. Now, 2025, we have $2 billion films, one belonging to that of China, which almost grossed $2 billion, $1.8 billion. Lilo and Stitch, $1 billion, a Minecraft movie, nearly a bill at $955 million. Jurassic World Rebirth, $772 million. Now, what I want to point out is I understand that when it comes to 2019, it's not touching it. But look at the titles: Avengers, The Lion King, Frozen 2, Spider-Man Far From Home, Captain Marvel, Joker, which was a surprise hit, Star Wars Episode 9, Toy Story 4, Aladdin. No year that I have talked about just now matches that level of interest, which brings me to my point. I showed you that China is able to produce films that can gross $1 billion without that of the domestic market. Last year, we had that of Deadpool and Wolverine grossing $1 billion. You had dumb shit like Thor Love and Thunder grossing nearly $800 million. Thor Love and Thunder is a film that is at cost for this. Let me tell you why. And also, those out there who's blaming the audience is a culprit. Thor Love and Thunder is a film that should have been rotten to its core. Yet, it was fresh. Many people gave it a positive review. Thor Ragnarok did the same thing. And guess what happened? The entirety of Hollywood decided to go that route. They decided to give you popcorn flicks. And those out there who was hyping up these films, you are to blame as well. Because you did not keep it real when it came down to these movies. The problem is people are sick and tired of spending their money on lackluster product. People need to understand, a family of four like myself, it costs me upwards of $200 each time I go to the movies. Do you believe that others are willing to spend their money only to walk out the theater unsatisfied? Do you have any understanding of what I could have spent that $200 on? Groceries. That could be gas for a month. That's that could be some good, nice retro shoes. If I can find me some for about $175. That's right. Some foreign plastics or something. So the point I'm trying to make here is, if something looks interesting enough, the audience will show up for it. That's the reason why Deadpool and Wolverine grossed $1.3 billion. There's a reason why Lilo and Stitch, which is a live action remake, grossed $1 billion. Spider-Man No Way Home, which was the biggest film coming off of COVID, people wanted to see that movie. Hollywood is not pushing out product that looks interesting, and also they have gathered a bad reputation by giving you bad movies, horrible films, horrible films. Rotten Tomatoes, all of that is at fault here. When someone goes into the movie theater and come out and say, man, y'all lied to me, this is the result of that. Audience are not stupid. They're smart. They're holding on to their dollars these nowadays. Things are hard. Hell, my mortgage is $1,700. Do you honestly think that I have $200 to be wasting on a damn movie? Hell to the no. I got to come up with nearly $2,000 just to lay my head. That's not including the light bill, which somehow, some way is always over $300. Car insurance, $300. Car note, $240. Yeah. Nobody wants to go and waste their money on what Hollywood perceives as good. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. So what is going on here is Hollywood isn't the same Hollywood anymore. They will put out bad product simply to make you laugh. This is the age of the popcorn flick. I told people years ago this style of movie making would be the death of Hollywood. And look at it right now. You got people out there blaming the audience solely because they don't want a popcorn flick. They want something epic. They want something that's going to be talked about for years and years and years, like Gone with the Wind or 2001: A Space Odyssey. We don't get films like that anymore. Yeah, you may have them few and far between, like what Christopher Nolan could bring to the table. But back in the days, it was hard to even find a bad movie. Now, that is all they're putting out. That's it. And I know some would blame the streaming service. You got it at home. Why would you show up and watch it in the theater if you're going to know that it's going to be on HBO Max in 45 days? If the person really wants to see a film, they cannot wait those 45 days. See, back when Avengers Endgame was coming out, there was no way you could convince me to even wait a day. Back when Avengers Infinity War, hell to the no. I couldn't wait an hour. Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Captain America, The Winter Soldier, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I had to watch those movies because the moment that I watched the trailers or anything regarding that of the marketing, I got interested. So if the audience is not showing up for these films these nowadays, Hollywood needs to reassess themselves and understand when it comes to the consumer dollar, they're trying to take care of it a little bit better. $200 for me could be an investment. I can buy stock with that money. I could turn that 200 to 2,000 instead of wasting it on lackluster product coming from that of Hollywood. In fact, most of the time you go to the movie theaters, you're disappointed. And I have the need to make this video because I am sick and tired of all of the excuses for films flopping like that of Fantastic Four and James Gunn's Superman and everything else that could flop. I'm so sick and tired of the excuses. You just need to accept that the films was not looking good to the general audience. They could have done more. And we know that $1 billion film is possible these nowadays because they're still happening. Avatar, The Way of the Water. I'm sorry, Fire and Ash. That's $1 billion waiting, baby. $1 billion. You want to know why? Because people actually wants to watch that. It's not that hard, ladies and gentlemen. It is chess, not checkers. So the next time you hear someone say, man, let me tell you why people are not going to the movie theaters anymore. You need to cut them off right off back and let them know, look, I don't want to hear it. It's up to Hollywood to get people invested. It's up to Hollywood to sell a film to the customer. If they cannot do that, then it's their damn fault. I'm your boy O. Hopefully you have watched this video all the way to the end, help your boy out that algorithm. And if you're not subscribed, please be sure to do so. Trying to reach that big number of 100,000 subs. So I'll be highly appreciative. You will help me cross over that threshold by hitting that subscribe button. Then after you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that notification bell because YouTube absolutely sucks at notifying subscribers that content creators has uploaded videos to that platform. Hitting that notification bell certainly helps. And don't forget to hit that like button to help me out with that algorithm, baby. But in the comments below, let me know, what do you think about what I said today? Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me? Do you feel that it is another reason why people are not going to the movie theaters anymore? Or do you feel, as I do, Hollywood has dropped the ball massively? And always remember, let's la bon temps roulette. That means let the good times roll. But let me know in the comments below.